Hello, my name is Mark Swaney. I am the Green Party candidate for U.S. Senate in this year's Senate race. One of the reasons why it's a good idea to have more than just two choices in an important political race is because the two major parties frequently don't talk about important issues. And that's no different in this particular race. Neither of the two major party candidates in my race is discussing climate change. Climate change is a vitally important issue to everyone around the world and to people in Arkansas as well. Now, climate change, I think, is a poorly named phenomenon, sometimes called global warming. It really ought to be called climate catastrophe to give the ordinary person the idea of how serious an issue this really is. Now, the scientists have been telling us about this for more than 20 years now, and they're doing it with ever-increasing urgency. And the scientists have given us a long list of bad things that might happen. And the evidence is pretty conclusive that some of those things are already starting to happen. And they've also been telling us what the cause of this phenomena is. And it's the burning of fossil fuels. The release of carbon dioxide in gigantic quantities into the Earth's atmosphere year after year is changing the climate of the Earth. Now, the scientists have given us a lot of bad things that can happen as a result, but I want to talk about just one of those things: agriculture. Agriculture, as we all know, is where we get our food. Everyone in the world is dependent on it, and here in Arkansas, a lot of our commerce is dependent on agriculture as well. And people that know anything about agriculture, and I hope the rest of us, also realize that agriculture depends on the weather. It depends on the weather being rather predictable, not the same year after year, but staying within reasonable bounds. Now, guess what, folks? Weather patterns that remain within reasonable bounds year after year has another name. We call that climate. And if the climate changes, our agriculture is going to become very, very difficult. One of the effects of that will be an increase in the price of food. You are already paying more for your groceries than you used to, and one of the reasons for that is climate change. Increased droughts, increased floods, and more severe storms are occurring all around the world, and the scientists tell us this is only going to get worse. Now, carbon pollution, which is what it really is, anything that's introduced into the environment that makes the Earth less likely to support life, is pollution. Carbon pollution must be brought to an end. We have to stop it. And yet, this vitally important issue is not being discussed in this year's Senate race. And I promise you that when I am your senator from Arkansas, that I will pay a great deal of attention to this issue, and that I will introduce bills into Congress that, when they are passed and signed into law, will at least begin the process of taking the steps that are necessary to bring in carbon pollution to an end, so that we can at least begin to fight to take the first steps in a long journey towards moving our civilization away from being totally dependent on the burning of fossil fuels for our existence. Thank you very much.